Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about easily one of the most important things in your track, which is slapping drums in your drop, specifically the kick today. And I learned this through my buddy Vlcn'S/Sam. If you're seeing this, I appreciate you, brother. Always love tossing ideas back and forth. And I really thought that his methodology was very simplistic yet super effective. And it's kind of similar to what I've done in the past, but it isn't. So I think it's worth its own video. So if you want to know the 4 tips that Vulcan gave me, just watch the video. That's it. Anyways, new intro coming in. We're already over 1,000 subs. I appreciate you all. So I got this made, and let's get into it. First of all, the first out of 4 tips is going to be sound selection. Now, how many times have you heard sound selection is important in anything in music, right? You can have a really strong lead, you can have a really cool drum pattern, but if the lead doesn't stand out or the drums don't smack, it doesn't have the same effect. So sound selection is important. And what is sound selection when people say that? Well, let me break it down. It comes to 2 things. 1, does it fit the theme of the track? And 2, the sound. Does it sound superior to another, like a very empty, hollowed kick you tried to make when you're first starting to produce versus a professional made one? So you can see examples here with red and green. And I want to show you 2 reasons why I say sound selection. First off, let's talk about one of the most important things in modern dubstep is that through the years, the kick has gotten shorter, 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 and shorter. And why is that? Why are we going to shorter kicks? Well, that's because we can have shorter sidechains, which means we have more time for our bass sounds and our noises and our sub to come through the mix. So instead of kick being its own identity and having a longer tail, it's now becoming more of a transient with a slight body. It's there for that punch factor, not necessarily for the tonality and all this. This isn't, like hard style and all that. So in this red, I want to show you the difference in what a Raptor kick from Cymatics. I think this came out in maybe 2017, 18 era versus Barry Live's modern day. So let's put these side by side real quick and just show you. And you're like, oh, it's really not that much shorter. And you're right. It's really not that much shorter, but this, even if you cut off more of this, right? So if I don't want the tail of this kick, you're saving, before this starts falling off, you're saving more time in your sidechain. And arguably, you don't have to even, you can bring your sidechain in more so when this is going away, it's starting to go down, versus where this is sustained longer. Longer kicks just are not modern dubstep. So if you have older style kick packs or free cymatics packs or whatever, you may want to think of maybe getting a new pack. I really like Akraza stuff, you could probably just hit him up on his Instagram. His kicks are fantastic. And this, I'm sorry if this is loud. You got even this blown out 808. I mean, yeah, I've recently been using these kicks a lot recently. They're not too sub heavy, so you might add a little sub. It depends on your style, but the transient's very crunchy. Other than that, just go to Splice. Just go to Splice, search up kicks. There's thousands. And I think if you want more short and transient filled, I would go in the tear out section versus the dubstep. My personal opinion, my flavor. So that's 1. Sound selection is, well, A, the length, you have to make it fit, right? So if we listen to this, it's kind of like a sub, like it's very weird versus nowadays. You can just hear that the Barely Live is just way more slappy. So if you hear this in a drop, even if we shorten it to Barely Live's 3, it's still, or even this one, a little more snappy. So sound selection, number 1. Number 2, parallel compression. And you might say, well, I've seen your videos before. You do this with full parallel. And you're right, I do. And that's on for this instance. However, I feel with these shorter transient sub-filled kicks, that full parallel doesn't do it justice. I usually use this and then use a soft clipper. But I haven't really, like I said, liked that result. Versus now, one thing that Vulcan does, which is nothing new, which is called like New York NYC compression, NYC parallel compression, which is where you send it into a return. So I'll show you my drum bus, which is literally just a threshold -4 dB. So whatever we send parallel in is not going to be clipping off the get-go. The attack a little bit longer. I don't want to mess with the transient, right? I want that thud to come through. So we don't want to mess with that. So we're going to turn up the attack. And the release, however, is a little high because I want it to cover the body of this. And so it makes it a little more punchy. Now, first, I'm going to show you this kick with the full parallel. And I need to turn off clip shifter, which is just soft clipping. So here it is. Okay. So now I'll do it with none. With. And now none. And now we'll put it parallel compression. I usually bring it up pretty high. That's crunchy, right? And you may say, that's clipping. And you would be absolutely right, because before, so we are making it audibly louder, which makes it seem more present. However, you can just adjust, right? If you want to be like, that's starting to clip again, right? But it sounds way more full than. So adding that in to your kick is going to be very beneficial. I also like to add that going into the next part, which is going to be your loudness level, slam your drums. This is one thing that I've not really done a lot unless it's through a soft clipper. So when you add this in, right? Yeah, that's a little high. And I do have tracks where I have exactly even, like 0, 0, and it just sounds really good. Let's clip it a little harder. Like even this, right? Like you can mix it in the taste. Obviously it's getting distorted, but we're gonna focus on this one for now. Sounds very good. And then if we add like a clap on top of that, your drums are going to be hitting like 8 or 9 dB. And I've bounced out tracks like this before where it's just 8 or 9 dB. It's not soft clipping. It doesn't matter. It doesn't distort. It's not weird. It's fine. Play it live. Now, whenever your loudness, you choose, how distorted do you want it? Obviously, that's very distorted, but I'm being very dramatic. You can choose how far you want to go with it and what sounds good to you. Do you want your kick like clipping and digitally distorting and like audibly distorting? I just want it like clipping, which is, it's already over 0. It's up to you. I'm just here to show you different things. But the last thing I want to show you is not only how I like the drum bus in this. Let's turn this up again. So we just blow this. Clip shifter is this last one. It is a free soft clipper that he showed me. And honestly, I love this. Has become my favorite soft clipper out of anything I use. And I also have a mastering plugin called Standard Clip. Let me show you real quick. This is what I used to use on my masters because you can do very high oversampling and whatever you need. Very nice. However, I think I don't know what algorithm Clip Shifter uses or how they coded it, but slamming stuff into this soft clipper keeps the low end so crunchy and clean. It's really weird. So before, we were slamming our drums, but now, so let's A-B it real quick. This is what it's like for. Very loud. It still maintains that same quality, which I love. So at the end of the day, to get your drums slapping, it's easy 4 steps. Sound selection, parallel compression, because why not? Always sounds great on drums. 3 is to level it. If you want to slam it as hard as you want till you get that distorted feel or wherever you're at, do that. Don't really worry about the meters. You can just soft clip it later if you'd like, which comes to number 4, which is using clip shifter as your soft clip. Not only do I use it on my drop drums sometimes, I use it now as like my master end, which is just a set of standard clip, which I just showed you. I think all of these things, if you try them and give them a few attempts and get used to it, I think you'll notice how much more your drums slap overall versus the old parallel, uh, full parallel preset in Ableton. Not that glue compressor is a bad thing. I just don't think it works for the new style of drums as well as this method does. So that is going to be it for today. I know it's very simple. Those 4 easy tips to follow. Give it a try. Let me know what you think, and feel free to comment down below if you learned something today. Also, go check out Sam Vlcn. I'll put down his links in the description for you guys. He's a really dope dubstep producer, so if you don't know about him, learn about him. Anyways, you all have a great, wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon.